Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are live, ready to go. I hope you are live and kicking. If not, we're going to inject some life back into you with this information that literally changed my life, and I'm sure many other people will attest to the same reason why they're here tonight, because of something that they took from this company and it made a massive difference to their health. So, guys, I'm literally I'm going to be sharing in about an hour or so of information, and hopefully you'll be able to walk away with something that you may or not heard before. But and if you heard this and you've been on this course before, hopefully it just reinforces the need for quality water, okay, to have a quality life. So this opportunity of a lifetime we talk about is definitely here. For me, the product of a lifetime is in each one of our hands. And if you've not got the product, we're going to make sure you get access to it. So before we even talk about the product, you know, with anything in life, there is always a issue, right? A company wouldn't create something if there wasn't an entrepreneur wouldn't create a solution if there wasn't a problem. Now we do have a major problem. Okay, I don't think this is up for debate. We all know that this foods that we get, whether it's fast food or whether it's the food that we go to the grocery store and get, it's depleted of any nutrients. Okay, so a lot of time we eat this stuff. We know we should be eating this stuff, the greens and the you know, these leafy vegetables and fruit and veg and stuff like that. We know we should be eating it, and when we do get it, a lot of times it's you know, sprayed to death, and it hasn't really got the raw material that we hoped it would do. And obviously the foods, you know, these fast foods that we tend to consume from time to time may not be such a big deal, but if it's a daily staple, if it's something that you frequent more than you should do, it will cause a problem, especially these carbonated drinks. And so we're going to talk about something that I've come across, and it's made a massive difference through the people that have shared this with me. Now, obviously, you know, ideally, this is what we would like to be having daily, you know, on our dinner plates, whether it's a morning, afternoon, evening time, a combination thereof. All of this beautiful stuff that we can get from the ground, not something that's been processed in a lab, and you know, we can you know, we know this is a big problem in today's society, right? So one thing that is really paramount, and without a question, I don't even need to take a survey, that somebody you know or somebody you might know of has a challenge with their health. And primarily cancer is one of those things that has not gone away. All right. And, you know, this gentleman over 100 years ago, you know, had a thesis done on the primary cause and prevention of cancer. And he won a Nobel Prize for this research. Okay. And back then, which is the case today, right? Some things don't change. It's the human body, and the human body doesn't change, right? We have cells, we have blood, we have veins, we have arteries. Things don't change. Even though these guys nowadays are talking about AI to replace some of parts of your body, but we won't go there on this call. But there's two things that he identified in his work, which was the metabolism of tumors. Okay, and this gentleman Otto Heinrich Warburg demonstrated that all forms of cancer was due to those two basic conditions. Those two basic conditions we're talking about is acidosis, which is acidity of the blood, and hypoxia, which is lack of oxygen. Okay, so if you have a lack of that, not just you lack yourself, you need oxygen, of course, to breathe, but your cells also need it. All right, so we're talking about cancerous tissues are acidic tissues, and healthy ones are alkaline tissues. So therefore, the foods that I showed on the start of the presentation, you know, the fast foods, the junk food, whatever you want to call it, with the fizzy drinks, okay, those foods are acidic. They're more acidic than they are alkaline. And so we need to get that balance right of having food that's got life in it, alkaline, as opposed to stuff that may not have that in it. Okay, and so this research that he did all of those years ago, just it's amazing, because we know that this is a major problem in today's society. Okay, so let's just move forward in what actually happens to your body. You know, I don't know about you. I didn't do biology. Well, I went to biology in school, but I didn't really take it to any degree. But now, this is stuff that I'm really fascinated about. What happens in your cells? Okay, as we get older, okay, things that we might have gotten away with when we were younger, because we're moving a lot. You know, we're primarily eating differently. Um, but too much of a bad habit starts to cause a problem. And this is where we talk about free radicals. So free radicals is an isolated oxygen atom, and excess of that, it becomes harmful to your body. So imagine, you know, your cells, these are the things, the nasties you don't want to destroy your cells, right? But when you have too much of that and your cells start to get affected, when it gets affected and your cells get depleted, then you're going to have a problem with your health. It's just, unfortunately, the byproduct of what we're talking about here. So this research was done back in 1954 and showing that the excess of free radicals going to break down. And what happens when it breaks down, the after effects is what you're seeing on the screen there. Okay, so we definitely do not want to be in that situation where we've got aging skin. We are prematurely aging before our time. And this could be because of the things I mentioned, the free radicals, and our diet. Okay, our diet plays a massive part in all of that, you know. So we need to get good stuff going in order for us to get the good stuff coming out, right? So, you know, garbage in, garbage out. Yeah, that's the acronym that I learned growing up, during my IT days. But it's not just garbage in, garbage out. It's like, what is the garbage leaving behind? It doesn't pass through you without causing some destruction. The destruction is those free radicals that we're talking about, what's going on in our bodies, my friends. Okay, so let's have a closer look at this, and so we can understand why this company that I'm introducing you to, Timol, and the product they've created has made such a massive difference in this area. So we're going to look about reducing the acidity and free radicals in our body. First of all, I want you to watch this video so you can understand the reaction, the chemical reaction, what takes place with free radicals in our bodies. Let's go.
When we are thirsty, we fill a glass with tap water or drink some water from a plastic bottle. After all, water is water, right? Magnetized water is popular in Japan. But before we get to know its properties, it is important to understand how and what happens to magnetized water. If you take some water to analyze, you will notice that its molecules are disordered. This is because of the minerals. When submitted to magnetic fields, the molecules turn back into their normal state, which makes the water more beneficial to our health since it heightens the energetic balance of the body and strengthens the immune system in general. That's why magnetized water helps prevent many diseases of the human body. Did you know that more than 70% of our bodies are formed by water? We need to replenish water to eliminate toxins from the body, hydrate tissues and cells, help the kidneys, facilitate blood flow, to fight bloating and boost immunity. Some of the benefits of magnetized water are: helps in nutrition and hydration of cells, aids in cell cleanse, reduces blood acidity and the excess of free radicals in the body, increases the oxygen in cells and blood, makes the hair softer, moisturizes the skin, leaving it soft and healthy, aids in the prevention of many diseases, lowers blood sugar levels, preventing diabetes, helps prevent many types of cancer, reduces the risk of osteoporosis and fractures by increasing the bone density and bone resistance, avoids premature aging, increases energy levels. According to studies published by the National Institutes of Health, USA, drinking magnetized water means more quality of life. If you already knew about magnetized water, tell us what you think.
All right. Well, we are going to tell you what we think, because I think it's fantastic. So we are going to be talking more
When we are
about
thirsty,
magnetized water, my friends, and that chemical reaction that you saw on the video. So this chemical reaction, when it's super magnetized, is known as water hydrolysis. A bit of terminology to get your teeth around. So H2O, as we know, is water. This disassociates and OH minus and H plus. So you've got hydroxyl ions and hydrogen ions as a result. So check this out. We're going to see this dissociation taking place. And when it happens, you have these clusters, hydrogen ions. So in the video, the lady was talking about, the breakdown so that your water can be in the form of when water, when you first get the water. If you get all the water together, it's just like, birds of a feather flock together, right? They're all kind of clusters together. So we're going to introduce this, I call it fantastic technology, adding minerals into with this magnetic water, making it, allowing you to have these breakdowns of the water, the hydrogen ions. And so the minerals found in the water reacts with those hydroxyl ions and forms alkaline hydroxides. So that's what we want. That's what the goal we want to get to. As the gentleman who won the Peace Prize, the Nobel Prize, his whole thesis was about getting your body into a more alkaline state. Okay, to reduce the excessive acids that are in our body. So we've got a calcium and magnesium combo, which basically allows the magnetization of water, reducing the body's acidity. That is, for me, an absolute game changer, because as I started talking about, our foods that we get in, they're lacking the minerals that were normally in the soil. Decades ago, we wouldn't be facing some of the things we're facing today. And as a result of us facing the things we're facing today, our bodies are breaking down at a rate that is quite unprecedented. Okay, so this whole reaction, chemical reaction that takes place with the water, is done with this magnetized product, magnetized water, with what we're going to talk about, the minerals. We'll show you a bit more information on that tonight. So again, just to make it even clearer, when you drink the water, the hydrogen ions react with the excess free radicals in your body, forming water. So you've got this really interesting effect that's taking place, all automatic, okay, all automatically done. So the H2O disassociates into OH minus and H plus, these different ions, and result of that, you're going to you have these free radicals. The H2O gets neutralized because of what we're showing you with magnetized water. Absolutely a game changer here, my friends. Absolutely a game changer. So people that may be struggling with, just their appearance, just on the outside, because the outside is just a reflection of what's going on inside. Okay, anything that you see come to the surface, guess what? It's already there. It's in the cells. It's just the fact that we can't see it, and we feel the effects of that. We feel sluggish. Our eyes might not be white. They may be brown. They may be yellow. Your body's telling you something. When you go to the bathroom, you'll see the color that's coming out of you. Your body's telling you something. Okay, you do not need to be a doctor to know that it should be looking like that. All right. So we've got a way in which we can actually help that process without you even having to think twice about it. And guess what? It's plain old water. Yes, my friends, water. Could you imagine? So did you know 70% of your body is made up of water? In fact, to be honest, it's way more than 70%. Most of all of your organs are water. Okay, your brain, water. You get a headache and you go for the pharmaceutical product. No, just get some water. Your body is needing it. Okay, just mute your lines as you come on, my friends. Thank you. Just
Ini
mute your
Juni
lines.
Mizunda.
Let me just see who that is.
Awarding hampir.
Monica, mute, please. Thank you. Right. So when when your body cries for water, as the video I started the presentation with, your body's many cries, right? it's wanting something, you know. And even when you feel like, you know what, I feel a bit hungry. I've already eaten today, but I feel like I can eat more. It's probably because your body just wants some water. It's dehydrated. How about that? How about giving your body a decent amount of water? Start off from there first before you even think about anything else. You know, you wake up in the morning, do you go for the coffee? Or do you go for the hot chocolate? Or do you go for a cup of tea? Or do you have some water? Because overnight, your body's used, you know, you sweated out a whole ton of fluids from your body, right? So you need to replenish it one way or the other. And so you could find yourself in a dehydrated state if you don't give yourself and your body enough water. Okay, so that's one thing, giving yourself enough water. What about the quality of water? Okay, because I was struggling to drink water, and even the you know, buying a decent amount of water, I would have thought a better quality brand that I was buying, bottled water, I thought that would be solve the problem. Yeah, I'm not drinking that cheap one. I'm buying a more expensive one, but yet still I'm not drinking the recommended amount for my weight. Yeah, so if, you know, if you're, you know, if up to 50 kg, you should be drinking at least 2 liters, and I was just about drinking that. And over 50 kg, again, you know, you should be drinking more than the two liters. So in proportion to your body, somebody who's double my size should be drinking more water than me. Okay, so I wasn't even drinking that amount, and then I wanted to, but I just couldn't deal with it. So all of that has changed, my friends, as you're going to find out tonight. So water determines disease, water determines health. Appropriate adequate water restores health. Ionized water hydrates, alkalizes, antioxidizes, and detoxifies. Water can be used as medicine. Absolutely. Dr. Leah Ribeiro said that. Doctor out of Brazil. This gentleman here, you probably can't see it. I was actually playing this video at the start of the presentation. This book here, Your Body's Many Cries for Water. I love this book. I really do need to start digging into this again. And for those of you guys who are not familiar with this gentleman's work, you know, he's a doctor who actually went into I think in Israel, in prison, to treat all sorts of symptoms people were having. Yeah, these prisoners, and he went in there and basically he increased their water intake. It just says here, he first discovered the curative powers of water in an overcrowded Tehran prison when he was held there during the 1979 revolution. One day, in desperation, he prescribed the only medicine available for one of 3,000 terrified inmates who was literally dying of acute stomach pain. Guess what it was? It wasn't Advil. It wasn't Anodin. It wasn't any pharmaceutical drug that you know, tells you that you can't treat yourself to natural remedies. Right? No, it was a single glass of water. Okay, and again, and this is his words. Okay, he said, our bodies eventually cry out in painful protest. We call these desperate thirst signals asthma, diabetes, arthritis, angina, obesity, Alzheimer's, high cholesterol, and hypertension, among other maladies. Can you imagine all of those things which are rampant in our community, in our friends, could be a lack of water? And not just the fact that they may be drinking enough water, I definitely wasn't, is what the water is leaving behind. Is it hydrating or is it not? That is a massive difference to your overall well-being. If the water is not hydrating you, you're just the middleman. You're thinking you're doing a great job drinking yeah, I'm drinking enough water for the day, I'm good, but still you're feeling sluggish, still you're feeling lethargic, still you've got aches, pains, and things of that nature, still your health at optimal levels. Will this be an overnight trick to take away all of the sickness and disease you have? Well, my friends, as we started off the call talking about the two states that you want your body to be in, acidity, you want to get rid of the excess acids that are in your body, and you want to have oxygen in your body, in your cells. We're going to show you how that's possible with this company and what they brought to the market. So just like a fish tank, my friends, your body needs to have decent environment in order for things to live. Okay, if they don't, your cells are going to die off. It's as simple as that. We don't want a situation on the right where you can barely see through the tank. If your blood is like the image on the right, you're going to know about it. You are going to know about it, right? It's just no two ways about that. You're going to be at your peak of your potential, and your body, your cells are swimming in water that's looking like that, swimming around in blood that's like that. No, it cannot survive. It needs to see, you see on the left there, you've got the oxygen going on in that tank. There's life. There's you know, you want to look at it. You don't want to look at the one on the right, right? It looks disgusting. And that could be the very thing that's going on inside of you and me, my friends. Now, we don't want to wait till we get to the doctors for them to tell us X, Y, Z. No, preventative is better than cure, right? So just like what we spoke about, and or you saw in the video, you know, this water that you get, it's moving, it's alive. But when you get it from the supermarket or wherever you buy your water from, or if you've got a filter, fantastic. That's a great step in the right direction to remove all the nasties that come through the pipe. We want to get that movement of the water, and which is what magnetized water allows to happen. It keeps the water moving, breaks down those clusters that you know saw in the video, and so that you can start drinking this stuff just as if it was straight from the pipe, just straight from fall, as opposed to, you know, if you kept water out in your backyard, whether it's from the, you know, from the rain, and you left it there for a while and the elements get to it, it stinks, right? You can't even deal with it. Okay, I even had that years ago. I had that at a friend's house. She had roses in her vase, and the water just stunk. You know, it was there for I don't know how long, too long. I tried to do something about it, and I ended up doing something to me. But that's a long story for another time. So we want the water to be vibrant. Okay, we are vibrant. We are, you know, you measure us, we're alive. Yeah, that's how our water needs to be. Okay, not dead. So again, to reiterate my point, this gentleman here, 2 minutes, will share exactly what I'm talking about. Sit back, relax, don't relax too much, and just take into what he's.
First, the water that most people drink has lost its original structural characteristics from when it was alive in nature. In springs, streams, and rivers, water is constantly moving. This favors its oxygenation, in addition to its structure being composed of small molecules, which increases its hydration power in the body. When water is stored or kept in containers, its surface tension is altered. Thus it becomes much heavier, with the formation of large molecule clusters, which are completely disorganized and lose oxygen.
I will explain better.
This molecular change
So let me
compromises the
see
penetration
again.
of water into
The
cells
cookie
that
let
form
for
organ
yeah.
tissues. But the original characteristics of water, so necessary for a good cellular hydration, can be restored. This is where magnetic treatment comes in. When water is subjected to a magnetic
It's
field,
about the water.
an event
Let
called
me see.
hydrolysis occurs, which means
Are you
breaking
too
up
busy?
of water. That is, the
Yeah.
movement caused by the molecules
This
causes a
water we
rupture
drink.
of the clusters
The
and promotes
professor is talking.
rearrangement into much smaller structures. Thus, these H2O molecules penetrate the cells much more easily, promoting better cellular hydration and cleaning. The second point observed in the various studies carried out with magnetized water is that it contributes to a reduction of excess of free radicals. How does this happen? When water undergoes magnetic treatment, there is an ionic dissociation, that is, the H2O water molecule formed by 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom breaks up, releasing hydroxyl ions
Why?
and hydrogen ions. Excess free radicals that are present in the body are negative ions, and they combine with hydrogen ions, forming new H2O molecules, thus removing them from the body. This is a very simple chemical equation that has been observed by several researchers. The third point is about the contribution to the maintenance of blood alkalinity, helping the mechanisms of our body. In hydrolysis, as we have seen, there are negative hydroxyl ions left over. This hydroxyl reacts with magnesium and calcium ions present in vital environments of our body, forming alkaline hydroxyls, in this case magnesium and calcium hydroxyls. These reactions help in the maintenance of blood pH and oxygen content. It is for all these reasons that water treated magnetically helps in the maintenance of good health.
This guy always catches me out because he's talking about, he's not saying anything. So yeah, I hope that really reinforced exactly what I was talking about. And if that didn't, well, then this absolutely will. This is an example of your cell. In fact, I had to quickly run downstairs and get my water. So this is an example of what happens and what you need for your cells to be hydrated. So I'm going to break down what typically happens and why you might be drinking enough water but not feeling the benefits of it. Okay, so there's your cell wants nutrients, you want to be hydrated, it needs oxygen, and that is what we want to have healthy blood cells, right? So if you have this situation where this is your typical cell, you've got these clusters taking place, and if they're all clustered together, we know that it's going to be a challenge for it to penetrate, to get into the cell in the first place. So therefore, preventing, proper hydration to take place, okay, into the pores of the membrane. So only partial hydration of the cell will take place. Now, let's go to my other slide here. You see how easy that it breaks down, that goes into your cells. It's all done. And this is why, my friends, I kept hearing how this water was so different. People tasted this water for the first time who typically do not like water. I can't say I'm a big fan. I told you already, I wouldn't probably get more than 1.5 liters in a day. And there I am now. You can't even stop me drinking this water, even if you try to, okay? Nobody needs to tell me to drink my water. It's the thing I look for in the morning. And I literally left my house the other day and I was like, I cannot believe it. I was almost on the verge of turning back to go for it. It was like my cell phone. I was like, man, should I go back? Because I left my water, but I thought, no, I'll be quick. That's to the state I've got now, where I do not leave my house without it, right? So when you have this water, my friends, the magnetization breaks up the clusters, decreasing the water hardness, promoting hydration and total nutrients of the cells. This is exactly what we want. And that's the major difference between water that hydrates against water that does. All right. So the benefits are there in an immense of them. This company, Timol, that you're hearing about, you're learning about, they have ticked all these boxes. The things that we knew we needed. Okay, and if you didn't know you needed, you know now. You know now? Yes, you know now. So it alkalizes the blood, reduces excess free radicals, and improves oxygenation. Okay, how about that? Just by doing that, my friends, your regular water that you may be drinking, we're going to super magnetize it. And then you're going to feel the benefits. And I'm so confident in that because I've seen it time and time again. And I'll talk about a bit more about that in a little bit because something happened this week that again just blew me away when I heard the results. So this is what we want for good and healthy lifestyle. So psilocybin is a product, and you're gonna know more about that product because that is essential in what we are here for. This is what makes the difference, my friends, with this company. So there's extensive research and studies that have been done, and you're going to learn about how you can go about doing that your own research. But this is a letter of confirmation of how well this company has produced them or done their business. This was given to them in 2014, 10 years after they opened their doors. And you're going to read here that this is a certificate by the World Health Organization that declares the recognition of the suitability of the Brazilian company Timol Ltda as the only one complying with the standards and requirements of this institution for adopting a system or method of magnetic water treatment or correction as a system or method of health, protection, and recovery with scientifically proven efficiency. So, my friends, you can read all about that in your own time. In fact, every product that gets sold has a snippet of this certification in there to let you know that you're dealing with a quality product. And as I always say, third party documentation beats conversation. Okay, so here we go, my friends. Timol is this product that you're looking at. It's a combination of the magnet and H plus, which is the mineral. So M&M, not the rapper, but the product. So I liken this to being my dynamic duo. Like, you know, tell me about it, my friends. The things I've just spoken about. And, you know, of course, any other environment, you would shout this from the rooftops about this, how this product is helping people with A, B, C, D, E, F, G, what kind of challenges that they might have. But all we're doing is giving the body what the body is lacking. Okay, the body is lacking these things. The cells are lacking this stuff, and the body is the miracle. So you give this to your body, and let the body do what the body's been created to do, which is heal itself. Right. So this is a Timol Super Water Magnetizer and Mineralizer. It should have a big S on the box like Superman because it will do a super job. So the effects of magnetized water is this: alkalinization of the body and the blood, increase in bone mineral mass, which is so important, especially as people age. You know, when people get osteoporosis, these brittle bones and things of that nature. You know, you pray to God that your loved ones do not fall over. Okay, at home, what typically happens a lot of the time as elderly people get up in age, and of course we're living longer, but you don't want to take a fall, yeah. And so your body, so something to increase the bone mineral mass is huge, right? Increase in blood oxidation and increase in minerals in the water, but provided by top H plus. This is essential, my friends. I mean, you know, I can't believe how I've survived. Well, I probably haven't survived too well without it, because I've had my own health challenges that you'll hear about in a moment. But this particular brand product does up to 20 liters of water. Okay, I was literally downstairs. Just before the Zoom started, I've had a 15-liter water bottle and it slipped out my hands and so much water went on the floor. And I was like, oh my goodness, not my precious water. But thankfully I was able to, you know, mop up the rest. But this will treat up to 20 liters. You do not need to have 20 liters in order for this to be effective, but this will treat up to 20 liters. And the magnet, my friends, will last you 30 years. Yeah, you heard that right. It's pretty much your lifetime, 30 years. Not to age those ones of you who may be still in their teens, but 30 years is a long time. And the green one, which is the minerals, will last about 3 years, give and take, maybe even a bit longer. But 3 years, you can start thinking about replacing it. Okay, so I love the fact that this is not a product you need to buy next week. In fact, I wish it was a product you have to buy every month because the residuals will be amazing. But that's another story. Now, there you go. You can put this in so many different ways. Take it with you like I do. I have my water bottle with me. I put it in the car. I take it in my hand. Take it on the tube. Take it on the train. Take it on the plane. Take it to the gym when I do go there, so that I'm not without it. And if I need to top up, I can just top it up from the water that's in the gym or in the airport or wherever you might be as you move about. In somebody's home, they'll offer you water. Boom, you've got your thing there. You say, oh yeah, can you pour it in this? And they'll be like, oh, what's that about? Oh, well, let me tell you. Now, you don't do a sermon, you don't do a whole seminar, but you just send them some information for them to get an understanding of what this is all about. So you've got many different applications and how you can put this product to work. The smaller one is called the Mini. It still has the same 30-year on the magnet, and it still has the same 3 years on the minerals. It just treats up to 3 liters, slightly cheaper in price. But the big one here is the best for your buck, for the amount of liters it can deal with. Okay, so go online, as we all do research, look at Timol. I did that. I found lots of Portuguese information. The company had been in Brazil for over 18 years before it even started to expand outside of Brazil. So a lot of the videos are in Portuguese. Now I am trying my darn best, and I do need to block off some time because I'm going to convert some of these amazing testimonials into English so that you can hear yourself, for those of you who do not understand Portuguese. Now, this is the gentleman who I want to shake his hand. One of these days, I will be in Brazil. As you know, God spare my life, I will be in Brazil. And I want to shake this man's hand because what he's put together, this company that's now 22 years old, that's provided health and quality of life for people through high quality water that truly hydrates. I mean, he has done that. If that's the company's slogan and mission statement, yes, they have done that, right? So this was his mission in mind. He sold his businesses, things of that nature, in order for him to create Timol. He had that vision, and I would love to really find out a bit more about him. But you know, we had his daughter on one of these calls over a month ago now, who's working in corporate, and you know, her husband, who's also part of the company. And so, you know, we've got that legacy that will continue to grow. And, you know, as things innovate, you know, we will have more things that this company will be able to offer us. But right now, a lot of that business is done in Brazil, and we're looking forward to that being expanded outside. But right now, we've got the game-changing product on our hands, which is Timol and Top H Plus. Now, I mentioned 22 years. I do need to update the slide. Go to Google Scholar, do your search for these articles. They've done a lot of scientific tests that you can look at. And again, the certificate of integrity that was given to them, and then their headquarters up in Brazil. All right. So I know they've got plans to expand outside of Brazil because we are sharing this near and far. We've got people that are flying to Ghana. We've got people that are going to this country. I'm sending packages from this province to that province, you know, that country. Guys, we are expanding. You know, we want this product to be in every jurisdiction as it's possible because it's a game changer. One thing I love about this, guys, you know, everybody needs to be drinking water. Everybody does drink water. Even if they drink a smidgen of water, everybody drinks water. Now, if you give them, the same people who's struggling to drink water, like I was, and you get them to taste this, give them the taste test, guess what? They're probably going to come to you and say, I want some more of that. Can you give me another cup? I almost guarantee that's going to be their response. For people who do not like water, just look for them, find them, do a survey, post it on Facebook, post it on your socials. I'm doing an experiment for people who do not like to drink water. Can you inbox me? I want to come back to you once I've collected my research. I'm doing some market research. I want to find out who drinks water, who cannot stand water, blah, blah, blah. Don't mention nothing about anything else, and just wait for them to come to you. And you do a taste test, my friends, and then you tell me if that worked or not. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. That's what happens when I get too much water in my system. I get too excited. So Timol is not intended to cure disease, but rather to magnetize water. Simple as, right? We're not here. We're not going to get the FDA knocking on our doors saying you made health claims that this will make, you know, people grow a third leg and stuff like that. No, we're not doing that. We are talking about magnetized water, right? Magnetized water. Simple as. So let's just look at this. Magnetized water will be an adjunct in health treatment and will improve your quality of life by reducing acidity and free radicals in the body. Guys, if that is the case, if you know that the number one thing that is helping or hurting people is too much acidity in the blood and lack of oxygen, and you've got your hands on a product that can solve that. Actually, this is the one. you've got something on your hands that can solve that, they won't be able to shut you up. And I'm sure those who are franchisees, they, you know, your friends might be like, all they talk about is water. Yeah, it's not just water, my friends. They've been touched by an amazing product. That's what I can say. So, guys, I'm going to spend a few minutes to share anybody who's got any testimonials before I go back to the PowerPoint. Let me just stop the share there. So, anyone's got want to raise their hand? Come on screen if you can. We'd love to see your good looks and hear how this water has helped you. Sometimes people do not want to come on camera, which is a shame. I mean, I don't mind if you come on camera or not, but they don't want to share. I want you to share, guys, whether you come on camera or not, because this product is a game changer. And I'm not the only one, and I've only been doing this since February, but every week I've got a testimonial, and I can't really talk on their behalf, but I'm going to, because they're not on the Zoom. But anybody else, feel free to raise your hand.
Um,
Otherwise, I'm going to start.
yes.
Oh, Glenn,
Sorry, Leroy.
and straight in there, boom.
Yes,
I
sorry.
like it. Yes, sir.
I don't like to be on camera. Sorry about that.
That's all right. No worries, mate. No worries.
Yes, but
We want to hear how this product has helped you.
right. I call this water magic water because it works so quick with me thanks to Natalia and Augusta. They introduced me in January. Right. I drop this water in my. I use like an eye drop in my eyes because I wear glasses. I can see much better. It helps me so much because I had difficulties when I travel and to see the timetable. So I had to go very close to see the time. And also, if everyone's suffering from hay fever, because I suffer from hay fever this time of the year, very bad. It triggers asthma. So I drink this water, and all symptoms I had minimal. So no hay fever this year. A little bit itching, but it's gone. The asthma, I don't suffer from it. So I had to take spray inhaler every so bad hay fever. But thank goodness it works amazing. I mean, thank you. So I recommend to everybody, if you know anyone that suffers from hay fever, drink this water, 2 liters a day, 2.5 liters. Use the eye drops. Itchy skin, you just put it in your skin, it's gone. So yeah, I call it magic water. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Yeah, brilliant. I love that. So many applications. I do remember when I was in London, I met Glenn, and he was at the train station, and he looked, on the board, and he was like, "Wow, I can see that a lot better now." And I'm like, "Dude, that is insane. I need to
Yes.
actually. I do wear glasses now and then, so I actually need to follow what you've just done and start spraying it for my eyes as well." So thanks for sharing. Anybody else that wants to share? I'm itching to share what happened for me. Well, not me personally, but um, I'll just tell you that I've had a relative, actually my mother-in-law, and we gave a sample of the water for her to drink. She's got a lot of aches and pains. In fact, I've got another auntie who's actually older than my mother-in-law, and the moment she told
Oh,
me that she had aches and pains and things like that, she got to see the doctor and whatnot, I'm like, hold up, I'm coming to see you. So I was there like a man on a mission, you can say, and I actually dropped off the product, and for them to put together in their water jug. So I'm waiting to hear some feedback from my cousin. But what I did for my mother-in-law was we gave her the 4 liter water bottle to take. Now she had been, my wife told me that the night before she couldn't sleep. She was in pain, and I could just imagine like being in that situation where your pain keeps you up, that you can't even rest. Your body needs to rest. You know what I'm saying? There's healing happens when you rest your body. So if they're not in a position to even rest, I'm like, nah, this can't happen. So, well, I wasn't happy to hear that, but we had already given her the 4 liter of water. So the next day, my friends, she took the water, right? And guess what? The report came back saying that she slept right through. She didn't have the same pains that she had. I'm like, my goodness. One night of taking the water, and that was the result. I said to my wife, I'm expecting a video testimonial soon, right? Because I want her story to be told for people who are thinking that, it's just water. And, no, it's not just water. Not everybody gets on these Zooms and understands all that goes in to hydrating yourselves. So I thought that was absolutely amazing. So anybody else, guys, that want to share, this is a Thursday. I like to call these testimonial Thursdays, where I can get to go into a bit more information on people's testimonials from what they're sharing. Like I said, I've got tons, but I want other people to share. We've got Harold. Harold, over to you, sir. The floor is yours.
Can you hear
Can you
me?
unmute? Yeah, perfect.
Good
Perfect.
evening, everybody. As always, I like to share my testimony because I've got a client, customer, a very good friend from day one from I joined this business. She's been battling with stage 4 breast cancer, and so if you're new on the call, you'd hear this because obviously when I first found out, I was on my way to get my unit for another customer. I went to Natalia's house, and Natalia is a good testimony because she survived breast cancer. So I said, let me call you from Natalia's house. Went to Natalia's house, and then they both spoke. Natalia spoke into my friend. If you don't know Natalia, she's one of the one to his originals, and her story is phenomenal because she had breast cancer, and she left in hospital basically for dead, really, and she drank the water. So much the fact she got herself better, and all the nurses were drinking it, and she just traveling around the world just talking about this business, non-stop. So she spoke it to my friend, and my friend broke down in tears. She said, "Harold's going to come and see you tomorrow in hospital with the water." So she said, "I'll have it." So I went to IKEA and I bought a 5 litre glass container because I look after my clients, And I treated 5 litres, went into hospital, right. And she was there really sort of like a zombie because obviously all the drugs are giving her. And her two cousins were by her bedside. This is really funny because one of them goes, "Oh, I don't drink water. I only drink fizzy water." I said to her, "Fizzy water's acid." I said, "Nurse, can I have 3 cups, please?" So I gave 1 cup to one cousin, 1 cup to the other cousin, and I said, looked after my friend in the hospital bed. After about half an hour, she said, "Oh, I'm feeling kind of, obviously she's all wired up, so she urinated and stuff." She goes, "Apologies about the smell." So she's obviously letting off gas and stuff, to get into her system. And it's very funny. The one who said, "I don't drink water," said, can I have another cup, please?" I went, "Yeah, there you go." Yeah. And the other one said, "How much does this cost?" I told her. I told her about the big one. She goes, "I'll have a big one." And in fact, just on a call just now, she rang me because she's suffering with migraine. And she heard my story as well, but just digress. Anyway, this is like 2 weeks later now, or it must be the third week. My friend's coming out of hospital this week, and she said that she really wish she had it sooner because she got her life back. She's going to the toilet regularly, and she's just feeling herself again. And she said, thank you for the water, thank you." And I'm like, wow. And that just gives me goosebumps just thinking about, So that's and I keep checking on her every 2-3 days. I check in on her, and she's like, she's getting better. And she said, "Thank you, you can't stop thanking me," And her family now are ringing me for product as well. So that's just a testimony itself. You heard my testimony. I mean, when I first got it, I drank it flushed me out. Second testimony was I suffer with hay fever. I don't claim it. For the last 5 years, the month of March, the minute March comes, my eyes are itching and sore, and I rub them and it's red. And my family go, "Harold, stop rubbing your eyes, stop rubbing your eyes." Well, I'll tell you something, right? Because it was Glenn that said to me, he uses it for his eyes. Got myself my spray bottle, I spray this in my eyes. And the whole of March, never had to rub my eyes, no redness. It's like, wow, miracle, miracle water, miracle water. But it gets even better. My third testimony is I drive a youth football club for my voluntary work. I took them to my favorite club, their training ground, Chelsea. Yeah, Chelsea, yeah. And because it's a bit of a drive, I thought I won't drink my water because, it does go for me a lot. So I see what actually happened. The next day, I had a migraine. I thought, how could I have a migraine drinking water? Didn't realize I hadn't drank water the whole of the day before and a couple of hours the same day. So I went to the post office. I thought, no, you know what? I'm going to go home and get more water. So I went home. I drank my water. And let me tell you something. No word of a lie. I left my house to go to my friend's house, who was 15 minutes away. When I got there, I sat in the car. I thought, hang on a minute. My migraine's gone. And normally, when I get a migraine, because obviously dehydrated, it takes 2.5, 3 hours to go. It went in 15, 20 minutes. This water here. So I'm telling you, this is what I call a miracle water. Yeah. I'm sticking by it. So what I say, if you're here for the first time, try it. Try it, because the most important thing what the US says, remember the thing is, it reduces the acid in your body and it reduces the free radicals. If it reduces those two things in the body, guess what happens? The body now does what it's supposed to do, heal itself naturally. And then the rest is history. So, I mean, I'm happy about this. This is like a great product. I don't leave on without it. Don't leave on without it.
Exactly. Definitely. Let me just mute some of the lines here. Thanks, Harold, for that testimony. Powerful testimony. Awesome. Keep them coming. Marsha, you got your hand up. Let me open the floor to you.
Yeah, thank
How
you,
you doing?
Leroy. Harold, when you were explaining, the phone just completely cut out for the segment where you got to the point about you had a migraine. So can you just elaborate on what you discovered, why you had the migraine? Is it because you'd missed a day of not drinking the water?
I
Because all
hadn't because I was doing some long distance driving.
no, I understood
When
that
I'm
bit.
driving long distance, obviously I go to the toilet quite a lot. So I thought, well, I won't drink it because I'm doing long distance driving. I didn't realize I hadn't drank it for the whole day. So next day now, I got a migraine. I thought, how can I have got a migraine? But I didn't realize I hadn't drank my water because I've been drinking it for like 2 days for the on and off all the time. And I stopped drinking it, and obviously I was dehydrated. So and then I suffered migraine. So I got my water, started drinking it, and within 15 minutes, I tell the time I got my water to go to my friend's house, which is 15 minutes away, my migraine disappeared. Now I know for a fact when I've got migraine, it takes me 2.5 hours, 3 hours before it goes. This did it in 15, 20 minutes. This water.
Now,
This water.
Harold, you've just said something that might be an answer to prayer because I've suffered from migraine from a teenager, and yeah, I mean, I've got one now coming on. We'll speak later. We'll speak after the meeting.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, thank you for your
Right.
testimony. It's really wonderful. Thank you.
Awesome.
I just want to
Yeah.
say, you can also spray the water on your head like that. Wet your head and leave it. It helps as well if I have headache.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Spray it directly. Spray it to where it is, where you have the issue. I think that's the other thing. So you can obviously take it orally, but if you've got something on your, on your skin, your wound or whatever, cut, spray it on there, like these examples with the eyes. You can use it on your eyes. Wash your face with it. Get all the benefits of utilizing it. And we've heard from other people, once they've washed their fruit and veg with this, the things that they start to see come out more than normal was something else. So again, it's pretty staggering. So thanks everyone for those amazing testimonials. I'm gonna just wrap up the meeting with a couple of just a couple more slides or so. Unless there's anybody else that wants to come on, feel free to raise your hand and come on down. We've got time. We've got a few more minutes for that. Okay. So you saw that, as you heard there, you know, wide range of testimonials that we you know, that you came across, and I'm going to say this just in as we proceed, that I had a lady at church was coughing a lot, and obviously she sings as part of the praise and worship team, so it's not something that, you know, she could kind of get away with coughing throughout the service and stuff. So she was drinking water, and I said to her, "Oh, you might want to have a look at what I've got in my bottle." And then we obviously had the conversation. Long story short, I ended up giving her a sample of water. The following day, she's like, "Oh, you know what? I felt the difference. I want to get one of those." And then a week later, you know, she did purchase one, and so I'm waiting for her to give me a video testimonial, or testimony. It doesn't need to be video if she doesn't want to do one, but just to say that this can be a very high impact product, where some people have seen the results in a very short period of time. Not necessarily every single person needs to have a story in 24 hours or 72 hours or whatever. A lot of the time when people take anything that's different to help them, you know, we're talking normally about a 90-day window, but here I'm seeing in such a short period of time, you know, the different results people are getting by just taking the water, guys. So again, we, you know, some amazing, wide and varied testimonials that we are seeing from things that are probably as severe as you can get, you know, with skin issues. Another one, you know, again, the severity from what it was to what it's now become, it's just incredible. And then, you know, we have a whole range of people who've struggled with, you know, diabetes, and how this product has helped them. You know, you'll hear the people in their own story. This gentleman here, you know, he had similar. That's his story. He had a really bad cut, and his foot. You see the wounds on his foot. He's diabetic, so again, he was scheduled to have an operation for his leg, and he's showing the old product there of what the product looked like, Timol, and how his foot got healed in conjunction with taking the product. Pretty amazing. And like I said, I had a relative who really, if I knew about this product 2 years ago, might not have had to for her to lose her foot. But you know, these things are here in our hands, and we can tell other people about it. And hopefully, like we mentioned, preventative is better than cure. Okay. So animals, you know, plants, you know, farmers have produced more crops because of the water that's been added to their soil. I mean, that in itself, you know, you've got the goodness of what we have with the magnetization taking place there. And so, my friends, I'm going to wrap up the call on that note. Feel free to get back to the person who's invited you on if there's any more information you wanted to know. We have, you know, different sides to our business. Today, it's all about the product, how the product can help you. On Monday, we do touch base on how the income side can also benefit you. Obviously, if you're living longer, which we hope for each and every one of you to be, then you obviously need to have enough money to go alongside that. Okay, and so on Mondays, we kind of dive more into the numbers as opposed to today, where I like to focus a bit more on just the product. Okay, so with that said, my friends, thanks very much for your time. We do this every Monday and Thursday in English anyway. This time, 8 o'clock UK time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. And with that, I am going to wrap up the call. Take care. God bless. Let me stop the recording.
Okay.